the market right now. Alright, and just so you know, this is not a true unboxing. I got the phone at about 10 a.m. in the morning today. I went to work and then I got off at 5. I could not wait till 5 o'clock to open it up and start playing with this bad boy. So yeah, but this is pretty much going to be your unboxing experience. This comes in some, I don't know what to compare this to, egg carton like box apparatus here. And yeah, let's get into it. So take off the lid. You got a nice little Sprint logo here. This pops off. You have the device itself. As you can see, it's not wrapped in its plastic. I already started playing around with it. We'll get into this in a little bit. Underneath here, you have your manuals, your getting started guide, all you need to know to get going. It's nice to see HTC and Sprint doing this new little biodegradable bags. You know, going green, saving the environment, all that good stuff. Further into that, you have your little lithium-ion battery and phone recyclable things. You send these out. It's free of charge. Sprint recycles these things for you. They resell the phones or they give them out to other people. You know, there's lots of people in third world countries that don't have cell phones and they would like one, you know. You have all these phones lying around that you don't need anymore. Send them in. Get them recycled. Do something good. You have, you see I already tore these open. But you have your battery charger. Nice little, if you stand up like this, looks like a little droid. But nice little battery charger. Plugs into your micro USB cable here. This is for data connection and for charging the phone. And that's about it. Very basic stuff in here. And it should be. I mean, it would have been nice to include the HDMI cable, but you should understand that the phone is only $200, and being that it is one of the most high-spec phones on the market, you gotta believe that Sprint is losing some money when you sell it to you on contract. But they make that up over the 2 years that you're paying for the data plan and stuff. Okay, and the phone itself. Look at this bad boy. Okay, so let's go over the phone right off the front. The most interesting thing about the phone, or the most highest marketable thing about the phone, is the screen itself. It is a 4.3-inch capacitive touch TFT display. And it is just vibrant. It's beautiful. I'll get more into it when we get into the full-on review. On the front, you have a 1.3 megapixel camera, front-facing, for video chatting, for self-portraits, etc., etc. Nice little HTC logo, Sprint doing their own little branding. Speaker grill. You can see the little LED notification going on. You can't see the little 2 holes right here, but in here you do have a proximity sensor and a ambient light sensor, I believe. On the bottom, you have your touch capacitive buttons. Home, menu, back, and search, as it has become the standard on all Android devices. You have, that's about it on the front. Here on the bottom, you have your micro USB cable for charging and data, syncing to your computer, etc., etc. You have the microphone and the HDMI out cable port. I think this is called micro HDMI. There is an adapter for it. Sprint sells it in the store, so if you don't know where to get it, you can get it through them. I'm sure Best Buy, Radio Shack, all these electronic stores will have it as well. On the side, you have your volume up and down rocker switch. It's a little small for my taste, being how big the phone is itself, but it works. It's just a little hard to press sometimes when you're not used to having it on this side of the phone. HTC usually does it on this side, and you know, you think when you're on the phone like this, oh, volume up and down, like, oh no, it's on this side, so I gotta hold it like this, volume up and down. Just a little quirk, but I'm sure they have their reasons for putting it on this side. You know, they are a very reputable company and they do know what they're doing. On the top, you have your on, off, power on, sleep off switch. You have your 3.5mm headphone jack, has become the standard on all HTC phones. Do have a little quirk about this power on and off switch. If you look, you see how there's a little curve here on the top, made like a little peak. The power on and off switch is on the downside of this peak. Instead of being right on the top, it's right here on the side. So when you're holding the phone one-handed and you want to press it, it's a little hard to do. Being one that it's kind of small, it's kind of flushed, you have to kind of arch your finger to get it sometimes. It's not a deal breaker, just you guys need to know about it, and I'm bringing it to you. And yeah, that is the sides. Let's get to the back of this bad boy. The most obvious and one of the other highest marketable parts about the phone is the 8 megapixel camera. This camera is also found on the Droid Incredible on Verizon, also made by HTC, the little brother to this phone as I like to call it. You have a dual LED flash, you have your speaker grill, you have a kickstand. At first, I was not so happy about this kickstand. This phone is sizable enough as it is. I mean, it's a hefty, big device. It's luxurious, and it's got that sturdy heftiness to it. But when you compare it to the HTC HD2 on T-Mobile right now, or on other GSM networks around the world, it is a little bit bulkier, it's a little bit taller, it's a little bit thicker, and it's obvious that one of those reasons being is because they included this kickstand. So at first I was not too happy about the kickstand being included because it did make the phone a little bit bigger, but once I started using it, and you have no idea how fun it is to just sit your phone up like this and watch a video on your desk. It's just amazing. So I'm pretty glad that they included this. I don't mind the little extra heftiness and the little extra bulkiness for this kickstand. It's a spring-loaded kickstand, so you see it's not gonna flop out on its own. And HTC has its Ferrari red accents on the back of the phone. To take off the battery cover, this is another little thing about the phone that I did not love so much. You have to kind of dig your nail into here and pop it out. And then you see the Ferrari red. I'm not going to do it because it's so much of a hassle for me to get this battery cover off and then snap it back in and make sure that it's snapped in all the way around. I would have wished that they would have done some kind of mechanism where, like on the HTC Hero, you just kind of push and it comes off and you snap it back in. But being that they have the kickstand, it makes sense that that's not possible hardware-wise. So yeah, underneath the hood, you do have a 1 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. You've got a 1500 milliamp battery, and you have an 8 gigabyte, sorry I said megabyte, that's kind of small, an 8 gigabyte micro SD card included pre-installed on the phone. And well, you know what, I am going to pop this open just because you have to see what I'm talking about when I come to this battery. So you see, you gotta kind of dig your nail in, and then you gotta kind of I got a little notification there. So you see it's off on this end, and then you got to kind of go around the phone and pop it out on every angle to get it fully off. And it's a little bit of a hassle. It's kind of annoying, but it comes off. No, not that big of an issue. You got your Ferrari red interior. Very elegant, very beautiful. I think I saw a post somewhere on Engadget or Android Central where they took the phone apart all the way, and somebody made a comment like, you know what, HTC is real hardcore about the red. You would have made the CPU and the motherboard red as well. It's kind of funny, kind of nerdy, but yeah. So this is your 1500 milliamp battery. Let's pop this out. And this is your micro SD card. 8 gigabytes pre-installed. It's already in the phone. You don't got to pop it in. And it's a good thing you don't got to pop it in, because to get this in and out of there is a freaking workload. You have to, this little tab here, you unhinge it, it pops out. You need some like pliers or some needle nose pliers or some tweezers or something to get that out of there. I can't do it. I have no nails, as you can see, and it's just hard. To get it back in there is just as hard, and then you clamp them back down, and yeah, kind of annoying. But hey, you know, I'm sure they had their reason for doing so. I'm sure hardware wise it was necessary, and yeah, HTC always knows what they're doing. The battery's right itself. And yeah, I will talk about battery life and all that goody-goody when we get into the full-on reviews, but this is just a quick hardware overview. Your little kickstand is right here. There was a little issue, a software issue on release date today about, let's pop this back in, and while I go through this process, you see I gotta go all the way around to snap this back in. And you see, you think you got it, and then there's a little bit hanging out over here. Come on, baby, come on. There we go. There were issues saying about some software issues where the phone wasn't reading the micro SD card, or it was, and it wasn't importing stuff to it and taking things out. I can't remember what the issue was, to tell you the truth. But you connect your phone up, you buy it, you connect it to the network. It takes about 10 minutes, and you have an over-the-air update pushed out to you. Good to see Sprint and HTC being very prompt with these, fixing whatever issues were on the phone. It didn't take a week or two, which even wouldn't have been so bad, because the it was only people were only made aware of it